Some court documents featuring the names of those associated with Jeffrey Epstein are now public.
Robert Moses joins us live in studio with what we're learning from these records. Good morning, Robert.
Tashani and Dan, good morning to you. There was so much intrigue surrounding the release of these documents that a website that posted them crashed. But there was no smoking gun, just more details about the people in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit and his criminal behavior. In a deposition in May of 2016, one of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers, Joanna Sjoberg, was asked if Epstein ever talked to her about former President Bill Clinton. He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls, she said. That's one revelation contained in newly released or newly unredacted court documents made public last night. More are to be made public in the coming days. The documents are connected to a lawsuit filed by Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims, against Epstein's longtime girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. That lawsuit was settled in 2017. In the same May 2016 deposition, Sjoberg talked about flying on Epstein's plane and getting diverted to Atlantic City. Jeffrey said, "Great, we'll call up Trump," she recalled Epstein saying in reference to Donald Trump. Neither former president is accused of criminal wrongdoing connected to Epstein. In 2019, former President Clinton said he didn't know about Epstein's, quote, terrible crimes, and yesterday, through a spokesman, said he didn't object to the unsealing of these documents. For his part, former President Trump claims he was, quote, not a fan of Epstein. Also in the May 2016 deposition, Sjoberg remembered meeting the magician David Copperfield at one of Epstein's homes. Asked if Copperfield ever discussed Epstein's involvement with young girls with her, Sjoberg replied, "He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls." She said Copperfield didn't get more specific than that. Sjoberg also recalled in that deposition that right after she first met Prince Andrew, he, quote, put his hand on my breast. In an interview with the New York Post, Jeffrey Epstein's brother Mark said that back in 2016, before the presidential election, Epstein told him, quote, if I said what I know about both candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. But Mark Epstein told the paper that Jeffrey never said what he knew, or apparently knew, about Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Tashani, back to you.
All right, Robert, thank you.